How is this? How did this happen?
Well, they say you play down to your opponent. I think the Liberty played down to their opponent. It came back to bite them in something we can't say on the air. So yeah.
Yeah. Um. Well, and it kind of blew up in both of our faces because we both picked Liberty to win, and I had some choice words when I made my pick about Liberty. I was talking all this nonsense about how Kennesaw State's horrible, and I guess maybe some of their players watched the show from last night, and they're like, "Let's prove these guys wrong that we can actually win a game at the FBS level." Congratulations, Kennesaw State. Your first win in the FBS was last night.
Mm.
Much earned, and you probably knocked Liberty out of the playoff.
I would agree.
Now, we are going to debut a segment on tonight's show, starting now, where we're going to say, yep, yes or no to it either could be coaches, head coaches, or assistant coaches that we think deserve a shot at being a head coach. And I have a list right here of 20 names of 20 guys that are assistants, and we're going to say either yes or no whether we think they should be a head coach. Starting with Rob Easel, South Alabama offensive coordinator. Yes or no? Should he be a head coach?
Why not? Yeah, absolutely. Why not? The football's going more towards offense anyway. So yeah.
I say yes as well. Give him a chance. Zach Kitley, offensive coordinator at Texas Tech. Yes or no to be a head coach?
Well, it's going to be hard to say no to any of these guys, so I'm going to say yes to him as well.
I'm going to say yes as well. Ben Arbuckle, Washington State offensive coordinator. Yes or no?
Washington State hasn't really been that good of a offensive team. I'm going to say no. Say he stays and maybe gets a little bit more experience.
I'm going to say no as well. This one's going to hurt both of us because we're both USF fans. I'm going to, University of South Florida offensive coordinator, their defensive coordinator, Todd Orlando.
It's hard. I mean, that's been the weakness of USF football the last few years. And it's been exposed. I mean, I think Alabama exposed USF, and I think other teams have found that explosion. I'm going to say no at the moment. Now, that could change. But right now, with the way that USF's defense has been playing, I'm going to say no.
The comment section is going crazy. I'm going to say no as well. Now, this one's right up your alley. You're an SEC guy. Tim Banks, defensive coordinator at Tennessee.
Yeah, it's, anything to give Josh Heupel one less thing to win. Why not? He's already got enough as it is. Take another notch down with him. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to say no as well. I'm going to say no. Pat Welsh, offensive coordinator, Miami of Ohio.
Yeah, I mean, I would say yes. I know a lot of these smaller programs, their coordinators don't get a big shine, but I'm going to say yes. Why not? Why not give them a shot?
I'm going to say yes as well. Texas A&M offensive coordinator, Colin Klein.
Yes, because he's coming from College Station. They got a new head coach. Yeah, why not?
Yes, as well. Philip Ely, McNeese State assistant coach.
Like I said, these smaller programs, they deserve a shot. Why not?
I'm going to say yes, just because I know him personally. I've actually met him. He went to high school in Florida at Plant.
Mm-hmm.
Garrett Riley, offensive coordinator at Clemson.
I'm going to say no on that one.
Unfortunately, I'm going to agree and also say no. Okay, we continue down the list. Jonathan Brewer, offensive coordinator at Duke.
Yes, because Duke they've had a good season. Why not? Give them a shot.
I'm going to say yes as well. This one might pull some strings because his dad used to be the coach at Baylor. Kendall Briles, TCU offensive coordinator.
Yeah, again, TCU's not one of the major ones. I mean, they're in the Big 12. Yeah, what the heck? Why not? Give him a shot. I know his dad had pretty good tenure at Baylor, so why not?
I'm going to say yes as well. Tom Allen, Penn State defensive coordinator.
Yeah, I know the game is focusing on offense, but you got to have some defensive minded coaches too.
Well, I'm going to say yes for a different reason. He used to be a head coach.
Oh, okay. So he's got experience. Okay.
He was the head coach at Indiana at one point when Indiana wasn't really relevant in football. Sad thing to say now that they're undefeated.
That they are.
Mark Leftwich, Texas State offensive coordinator.
You know what? I was just saying, the little schools, I'm going to say no. I'm going to let him stay there and get some more experience.
I'm going to say no as well with that. And I agree with what you said. Brian Hartline, co-offensive coordinator at Ohio State.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan Day's a good head coach. And that's the bad thing about being a successful head coach like he's been. You're going to lose assistants. I mean, look at Nick Saban, for example. You lose your assistants. Yeah, absolutely.
I say yes, but I don't think it's this coming up coaching cycle. I think it might be the next one or the one after that. Now we get to another guy that's on the USF staff. Joel Gordon, offensive coordinator, South Florida.
The offense has been playing well this year. It at times has looked at what they say vanilla. I think with same thing with Orlando, I'm going to say no. I think they need to develop a little bit more under Coach Golish before I could say. Now, if next season they go, 10-2, that's a different story. But right now, if they get to 6 wins to get to a bowl game, that'll be, successful. So, yeah, I'm going to say no.
I'm going to say no as well. Robert Livingston, defensive coordinator, Colorado.
I'm going to say yeah on that one because again, that's Dion. They're playing good. Yes, I think he deserves an opportunity to be a head coach.
Pat Shurmur, offensive coordinator, Colorado.
Yeah, well, he's been a coach before, not only in college but in the pros. Yes, absolutely.
By the way, Lighthead, thank you for the sub. Shannon Dawson, offensive coordinator, Miami of Florida.
Yeah, I mean, again, there's another school that, Cam Ward is lighting it up, and he's going to light up FSU on Saturday. Yes.
Unfortunately. I say yes as well. Now this one might be a little questionable. Alex Atkins, offensive coordinator, Florida State.
You know what, buddy? It might be funny that I'm going to say this, but I'm going to say yes only to get out of Tallahassee, to get out of that
You know
dumpster
what?
fire that's going on at FSU.
Thank you, Lighthead. I really appreciate that. I'm gonna say yes as well, just to get, like you said, just to get out of Tallahassee and get to get to get a new fresh start. And then number one, and I think everybody is gonna think this guy needs to be a head coach. Lance Guidry, defensive coordinator at Miami.
Yeah, see, that's the whole thing too. I think like if somebody is successful, they need to be a head coach. Not necessarily. I mean, and they halfway good on the defensive side of the ball too. But no, I'm going to say no. I think he stays with Mario Cristobal on the staff at UM.
I'm going to say no too, because I think not only does he stay, but I think he gets a raise.
Paid. Yep.
To keep developing that defense. And then I'm going to throw a bonus one in here. What about yes or no? I'm going to give out 3 more names. Yes or no? Jay Gruden to be a college football head coach.
Yes. I don't think John, no. Jay, yes. Jay could handle college. John, not so much.
I'm going to say yes as well. But John Gruden is next.
After seeing Trent Dilfer on Saturday yelling at his players on the sidelines and being able to hear him across the field, how loud he was yelling, I don't know. See, I can't. You know what? Why not? Yes, because you know what? I don't know. I don't know John personally, and who knows? He might be a great college. He might be able to mentor kids and be able to coach them. So yeah, why not? Give him a shot.
I say yes as well, because he's already came out and said that he wants to get back into coaching after the whole scabulous scandal with the emails in the NFL.
How about Florida? How about Gainesville? Come to Gainesville.
If they get rid of
Billy Napier.
I just call him Sunbelt Billy because that's what everybody knows him as. Unfortunate, but it's the truth. Now we're going to talk about our bold predictions.
You may go first, bud?
Yeah.
I have 3. I have quarterback Eli Holstein throws for over 200 yards over Syracuse. I forget who I'm referring to. Forgot to write that down.
Kyle McCord.
Okay. Navy will have over 400 yards of total offense against Notre Dame. I think they're going to put it up on them. And here's my last one. Cam Ward will run for 50-plus yards against FSU on Saturday.
I agree. And again, Lighthead, thank you for your kind words. My first bold prediction, and I think this bold prediction is kind of wild. I'm gonna get some side eye looks for this. I think Will Howard throws for 4 touchdowns and not 100 yards, not 200, not 300, not 400, 500 yards against Nebraska.
That'd be quite a day. 4 touchdowns and 500 yards in the air.
Number 2 bold prediction. Kyron Drones runs for 4 touchdowns and 240 rushing yards. And oh no, that was correction. I had that mixed up on my second one. My second build prediction is Keon Mosey runs for 4 touchdowns and 240 yards.
Okay.
My third one is Virginia Tech puts up. Georgia Tech fans, you probably want to close your ears because the number I'm about to say is not pretty. I think Virginia Tech puts up 50 points against Georgia Tech, and Kyron Jones throws for 5 touchdowns. Sorry, Georgia Tech fans. I know that's gonna hurt your ears are probably ringing, but I think Virginia Tech. And it's crazy to say this, that they still actually have a chance to make the ACC title game. Now we're going to go into I'm going to share the screen, and we're going to have some score predictions for everybody. If you want to take part in this, put your score predictions in the comments section to compete against us and see who does the best. This live stream is about college football. Lighthead. We are going to start with BYU and UCF. What is your score prediction for the BYU UCF game?
I'm gonna say 42-21 BYU.
You know what? UCF has not been impressive this year at all. And I was sort of high on them in the preseason. But I'm going to say I think this is going to be a boring game. I think BYU wins, but I think it's going to be look at the Cincinnati Iowa State game a couple weeks ago. Look at the final score of that. I think we're going to get a 20-14 game or a 19-13 game, but BYU is going to win. Ohio State, Nebraska.
I'm going to say 60-14 Buckeyes.
I'm going to say you heard my bold prediction. So obviously if Will Howard's throwing for 500 yards, that means Ohio State's going to score virtually almost every drive. I think Ohio State shuts them out. I don't think Nebraska scores at all. 59-0. Notre Dame and Navy.
42-24 Midshipman.
I like your optimism in that. I'm going to go Navy. Something tells me Navy's just going to try to run the ball the entire game. Run the triple option. I'm going to say Navy 28-14. Ole Miss, Oklahoma.
I'm going to go 28-7 Rebels.
Oklahoma fans turn away. I think my co-host knows where I'm going with this. I'm obviously going Ole Miss, but I don't think it's going to be pretty. I think Ole Miss is still ticked off from their previous game. So give me Ole Miss 52-7.
Okay.
Oregon, Illinois.
Let's do 48-34 Ducks.
Bielema, I'd love to go with the Fighting Brett Bielema is here and give them more points, but I can't. Give me Oregon 45-14. We're going to go to the most laughable game of the week. Vanderbilt and Texas.
I'm going to go You know what? I'm going to say 63-21 Longhorns because Texas is pissed off. So they're going to just take it out on Vandy.
Give me Bevo. Give me Texas. 75-7.
75 points. Holy cow.
Sorry, Vanderbilt. You're in the wrong place. As they
Well,
say, you're in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Indiana put up 77 earlier this year, so we'll see.
And, well, they were outdone by South Alabama, if you remember correctly.
Okay.
80 points. Duke and SMU.
I think that game's going to be closer than a lot of people predict. I'm going to say 28-21 SMU.
I'm also going to say it's going to be close, but I think both teams are going to put up a lot of points. Give me 58-55 Duke.
Okay.
Kansas State.
Kansas State can put up points. Let's go 48-7 Kansas State.
Unfortunately, Kansas, it's just not your year in football. Kansas State, 55-7.
Well, they do have one bright spot to make. They are the number one ranked team coming out of for college basketball. So the Jayhawks, the number one.
LSU A&M.
This game also is going to be close. I'm going to say 28-24 Aggies. It's going to be a lot closer than a lot of people predict it to be.
I think Aggies 21-14. And that concludes score predictions. Sharing. Okay, so I heard this interesting comment from Garrett Nussmeier when he was doing his press conference for this game. He said that Kyle Field, their Texas A&M fans, aren't as loud as Death Valley at night.
I guess we'll find out.
My thing is, I think he's trying to light a fire under the A&M fans.
No, I agree, bud. I agree with that. I mean, they do say that it's hard to play in Death Valley, in Louisiana on a Saturday night, but I've also heard that College Station can be awful loud, being that, they just like with Ohio State and Michigan, you have over 100,000 people. There's going to be noise. So you might be right. It might be like, hey, you know what? We need you guys to be there at Kyle Field. And, they say that, they're louder than we are. Well, guess what? We're going to be louder than they are. And we're going to cause penalties and all that stuff. So why not?
Yeah, I agree with you a lot. So if you're Florida, your next, pull up the Gator schedule on your computer and tell me their next 3 games after the bye.
The first one is Georgia. I know that.
See, you know what?
First one is Georgia.
Georgia looks vulnerable. I'm going to say that. I think they can, and you might laugh at me, or I might get laughed at by Georgia fans. I think y'all can stick around with Georgia.
Here's the next 3, buddy, after the bye. We're on a neutral location in Jacksonville against Georgia. We're on the road in Austin to play Texas, and then we're at home to play LSU. Then we have Ole Miss at home, and then we go on the road to Tallahassee to play the Seminoles to end the season. Those are the final 5.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think, and you can tell me what you think. I think You're not going to beat Georgia, but I think you keep it closer than people think. You're obviously going to get blown out by Texas.
Yeah. Yep.
LSU.
That's a winnable game. That's a winnable
Very
game.
winnable game. Very winnable. Ole Miss.
We'll see. Depending on
Florida
what
State, you should win.
Yeah.
Should.
But then again, those rival games are always, you never know.
Mm-hmm. And I know I said we were going to do this tomorrow, but we're going to look at the transfer portal. We're going to do quarterbacks and running backs today, and then wide receivers and tight ends tomorrow.
Okay.
And we're going to try to predict early where we think these guys are going to go. Even though it's it's really unknown because let's see here. Or are okay. We are going to do position QBs. Go back, share. That off the screen. So we're going to start with Cameron Edge, a quarterback at Maryland. Where do we think, if you had to make a way too early prediction, because this is way too early, where do you think he ends up?
Well, let's see. They're in the ACC. I'm trying to think.
No, Maryland's Big Ten.
Oh, that's right. That's right. They were in the ACC, Big Ten. Trying to think who's going to need a quarterback after this year that, he can transfer and then be maybe Minnesota, maybe the Golden Gophers.
I'm going to say Michigan.
Okay.
Next is Matthew Sluka, who was at UNLV, but entered the transfer portal after they started 3-0 because he was lied to about his NIL money.
Oh, that's right. That I was going to say, is that the one that was lied to about? I can see him going to, I'm not sure which program, but a bigger program where he can get that NIL money that he so richly deserves.
I'm going to say this is a dart, throwing a dart, and I'm going to see if it sticks to the dartboard. I'm going to say Florida State.
Okay.
Because I like Brock Glenn, but I think he needs a little more development.
Okay.
Oh, that's it for quarterbacks. Wow. Okay, running back. Let's see, is there anybody? Oh, we got a few more guys for running back. Rocco Griffin. Looks like that is that UTSA?
I can't tell.
That's UTSA. He was at UTSA. He's 5'9", 200 pounds. Again, I'm going to throw a dart at the dartboard and see if it sticks. I'm going to say Ohio State's losing both their running backs, but they do have James Peoples. I'm going to say Ohio State.
I'm going to say within the conference, I'm going to say USF. They're losing both Kelly Joyner. Yeah, I'm going to go USF.
LaShawn Williams, Iowa. Was at Iowa, now he's in the portal.
I could see him, buddy, going to Ohio State just to stick it to Iowa.
I could see him going to Ohio State too. doing what they did this year with Judkins and then Henderson, who everybody thought was going to leave once Judkins came, I could see them dumpster diving in the portal for 2 running backs. Michael Allen, UNLV, was at UNLV, but he entered the portal.
You know what? Why don't he follow his teammate? Go where your quarterback went. Go to FSU. Why not? Go to Tallahassee.
Michigan fans are going to hate me for this. Michael Allen to Michigan because they don't have a running back. You can't tell me that Donovan Edwards. Well, Donovan Edwards is going pro after this year. I'm pretty sure. I don't think he's got any eligibility left.
Mm-hmm.
And then Khalil Mullings, he's not an every down running back. We can obviously see that even though he's splitting carries right now with Donovan Edwards. So I think he goes to Michigan. And then my other dart throw with him would be watch out for South Carolina. Because I think they're losing a running back, and they might be in need of a running back. And now we will go. I'm wondering if it's too early for the portal. That's why there's not a lot of.
Yeah, I was gonna say that we're midway through the season. I would say so. Probably might be a little too early.
We're gonna do something else with college football, and it's not scores. We are going to do another round of, and this is on the fly. 4 people that are lower on the depth chart that we think might play to finish the season. Tell me what conference and what team.
Oh, I didn't get any of those, bud.
No, this is on the fly.
Oh, on the fly. Who I think will be.
You just tell me the conference and pick a conference and a team.
Let's go. Well, since he might be eligible again, why not Cam Rising at Utah? Why not have him go stay at Utah and hopefully not get injured? Since that's been
okay. So that's been a polarizing thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 1. You get 3 more.
Trying to go through all of them.
Just tell me the conference and the team.
Let's go USF, the American.
Okay. American. We could have said Keyshawn Singleton, but he's already playing. What position?
I'm going to say quarterback. I'm going to say Bryce Archie. Because he's going to have to step up because with Byron Brown being down and we don't know when he's coming back, this is time for that kid to shine. So I will go with I'll go with Bryce Archie.
Okay, so that's 2. You get 2 more.
Let's see. Let's do Florida SEC.
Okay. Oh, I think I know who you're going with here. Is it Lagway?
Yeah, I was going to say I'm going to go with their starting quarterback because what's his name is out. He tore his ACL. He's done. This is his time to shine. And whether Napier's there or not next season, if he stays, he'll be the next shining quarterback at Florida.
Okay, so you get 1 more.
1 more. Let's go Miami, ACC.
Okay, let me get to Miami first, and then roster. Okay, what position?
Quarterback. Who's their backup quarterback?
You go. That's the one thing about colleges. I think it's Reese Poffenberger.
I mean, he's going to have some huge shoes to fill when Cam Ward goes. So, yeah, he would be one that I would like to see shine or take that advantage of it and shine.
Okay. My turn. I'm going to start with the Sun Belt.
Yeah.
Or as most people coin it, the Fun Belt, because there's a lot scoring. I'm going to go Coastal Carolina. And I'm going to go with whoever the backup quarterback is to Ethan Vasco.
Okay.
He's already starting, but I think he needs to step his game up if he wants to keep his starting job, because there's a couple guys I see on here, and one of them's name is very familiar to me because he was in the Big Ten at one point at Michigan State. Noah Kim. I think if Vasco doesn't play better, Noah Kim could finish the season out as a starter because he does have experience starting. He was a decent starting quarterback at Michigan State. They just didn't have the weapons. So that's one. Number 2 for me, I will go to the Big Ten. And I'm going to pick on Indiana again. And I know I said his name a couple weeks ago, but now with Curtis Rourke out for a couple weeks, we've seen Taven Jackson. Don't get me wrong, Taven Jackson's a good quarterback, but he ain't. We need to see the freshman, Tyler Cherry. And this is a public servant's announcement to Kirk Signetti. Don't play Taven Jackson. Play the freshman. See what you have in the freshman. 6'5", 219. Not saying you can have packages for Taven Jackson, but don't name him the starting quarterback. Let the freshman play. You've got 4 or 5 games left. You can play Tyler Cherry for 2 of those 5 games, and he won't lose his eligibility. He'll still be a freshman next year. He'll be a redshirt freshman. Let Tyler Cherry play until Curtis Rourke is healthy. That is number 2. Number 3, I'm also going to the ACC, but I'm going to a different team in the ACC. I will go down to Virginia, who has surprisingly been good this year. As you can see by their record, they're 4-3. And I'm putting the spotlight on a guy that's one of the backup quarterbacks there. Not Calandria. He's a sophomore, but I think he could get benched for Gavin Frakes, the junior out of Norman, Oklahoma. Hey, Brett Venables, or whoever the coach was before Brett Venables. Oh, wait, Lincoln Riley. How do you let Gavin Frakes leave the state of Oklahoma?
Mm-hmm.
So that's 3. And my final one is in the Big 12. And it's at Baylor. Yes, I'm picking on Baylor. They're doing decent too. It is Daquan Finn is a really good quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
But I see a freshman sitting on the bench right now that could help Baylor potentially win a couple more games for Dave Aranda to keep his job as head coach.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at the freshman out of West Village Lake, California, Nate Bennett. I think he needs to get some reps as the QB1 in Waco. And those are my four guys. We are now going to briefly talk about and we were supposed to do this on tomorrow's show, but I think we're going to do a little bit of it tonight, predicting the rest of DJ Lagway's season and his stats. What do you think his stat line will be at the end of the season?
I don't think it'll be that good. He's not in the right style of offense. If you remember, with Jordan Travis, it was an upbeat offense. Lagway is not that type of quarterback, DJ's not that type of quarterback. So he was the Band-Aid because I think they wanted Cam Ward, and Ward told them no, I'm going to Miami. So he was the scapegoat, and it's not the right style of offense for him. So his stat line won't be any better than it is right now.
I'm going to say he's probably going to finish with like less than 30 touchdowns. I think he finishes with maybe 25 touchdowns, like 7-8 interceptions, and he throws for just a shade over 1,000 yards with maybe 2 or 3 more rushing touchdowns. But I think that's going to wrap up tonight's episode of the Fourth and Long podcast. Bradley and I will see everybody back here tomorrow at the same time, 5:45, for another entertaining edition of the Fourth and Long podcast. And we have next Friday, we have a play-by-play for the South Florida Atlantic football game, which should be interesting, seeing as FAU is not particularly good. But then again, we said the same thing about Kennesaw State, and we can both laugh about it right now because that's why we're not coaching, and we're only analysts for this podcast. Because if we were coaching, I think we would have done a better job than Hugh Freeze did. But anyway, that's going to wrap up tonight's podcast. We will see everybody back here at 5:45 tomorrow afternoon. Have a wonderful rest of your Thursday night, everybody.
Good night, guys.